All right, guys, so check this out. I ran across a video on TikTok. This guy said that he's a friend of Nolan Wells and the family. He also said that he was the first person to cut Nolan Wells' hair as a child. He's good friends with the family. That's what he's saying. I'm gonna provide his link in the description so you can go follow him and take a listen to his video because he's from out there in Ocean Springs. But guess what he said? You're gonna hear this in a second. He said that Bart, you know how Bart is lawyered up and all that stuff. He said he ain't had nothing to do with it. He said he talked to some black friends of Bart, and the black friends cleared him. He said Bart didn't have no wrongdoing according to Bart's black friends. Okay, so listen to this, and I'll be back.
See, here's a lot of things that the people in the back of the room don't know. Yes, us locals, we are privy to a lot of things because we know these people. I gave Nolan his first haircut. I know his parents. Been knowing them for years. Been knowing his mom since she was like in high school. I'm real good friends with her family. So here's the deal. When that video came out, and you hear them people on there talking that lady dug up and went and researched and brought up the sounds. The truth is this: if that video is legit, it's a few people in trouble. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Now see, this is the stuff that you gotta wait for. This type of evidence, right? Now, I'm gonna help you out here. Alright? I hear Bart and them parents are suing. Bart's name was mentioned on the video. Okay? Well, I asked one of his friends, who was a black guy, about Bart a few days ago. And they said that Bart was cleared already. And according to the black people, they cleared Bart. I don't even know if the police cleared Bart. But it sounds like the black people that's involved cleared Bart. They said Bart ain't had nothing to do with it. But Bart's name is all over that tape. But if these black guys are telling the truth, then guess what? You see why his daddy's suing. And that's what I'm saying, people. You can't just be so quick to just do this type stuff, man. This stuff take time, bro. Investigation. I'm gonna tell you something, man. By the time it's all said and done, half of Ocean Springs might be going to prison, or half of Ocean Springs might be going on a vacation. You don't know yet, so just chill. And like I said, I know these people. I know they family. All right, we all been knowing each other, so ain't nobody on here taking up for nobody. I'm not looking out. I'm not looking out for nobody on here. I'm only speaking what I think is best to be spoken to keep the peace until the facts come out.
Okay, so you heard that right there. So locals are talking, you know, but people are not saying a lot. But locals are on social media talking. You just got to find them. But that's what he said. He said Bart, his friend, you know, Bart, you know, he played football and stuff. Obviously, he's gonna have different groups of friends because he's a athlete, he's a football player. He said that the locals out there, his boys, his homeboys, his black homeboys, they cleared him. He ain't have no wrongdoing. I'm not saying Bart had no wrongdoing. I'm not saying that. But you also heard what he said in that right there. He said these investigations take time. He's right about that. The investigations could take a very long time. And also, I want to say this. There's no statute of limitations on murder. There's no statute of limitations. They could take 10 years from now and come back and arrest you. That's one thing there's no statute of limitations on, right? So we always watch the first 48. We expect things to get done in 48 hours. It's not always the case in the real world. So now that we know that from a local out there, he's saying it takes time, but he said that people are talking. That's what not him, another guy. He said people are talking out there. And he said after this all said and done, he said either half of Ocean Springs going to jail or not, or they can just rule it an accident. We don't know. So, and I have that same belief. It's either after it's all said and done, a lot of people are gonna get the handcuffs slapped on them. Because remember this, in a conspiracy, you don't have to pull the trigger to be found guilty in a conspiracy. You just had to have known about it. In Texas, in fact, in the state of Texas, they call it the law of parties. In Texas, they call it different things in different states. But let's say if somebody come in my house, they said they're getting ready to rob somebody, right? Hey, let me just keep my stuff here. We're gonna go out and do our thing. You don't have to come with us. See, I could be thinking, well, I'm not gonna go out with you guys, so I'm okay. No, I'm not okay. That means I knew about it. And if they get caught and they said they was at my house and stuff like that, guess who's going to jail? All of us. Because you know what the police are gonna say? You should have called us. When they left your house, you should have called us. So we could have arrested them. You ever heard of the saying, you're guilty by association? Well, in this case, you be guilty, but with the party you keep, depending on what happened. Now, let me just say this: I'm not saying nothing happened, even though that audio don't sound right now. The audio don't sound right. I'm talking about the audio that Mississippi put out. There was something in the background. That is a very important piece of evidence that they're going to have to figure out if it's legit or not. They're going to have the forensic people come in. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about all of that. The forensic people are going to come in and analyze the audio, and they have tools at their disposal that will clear it up, and they will get to the bottom of it. Okay, and then somebody gonna have some explaining to do. But if not, if they clear everybody, then everybody's cleared. Like, for example, in the Nancy Guthrie case, you know what the detective said? You know what the sheriff said? He said everybody's a suspect. That's what he said. You know why? Because you have to go through the process of elimination to clear people. Okay, you didn't have no wrongdoing. You didn't do it. They have to do a thorough investigation to make sure certain people didn't do it and certain people weren't responsible. And on the other side of that coin, they want to make sure whoever did it did it. Remember, in a criminal trial, the burden of proof is very high in a criminal trial. Okay, you have, when you order to get a conviction, all 12 men and women of the jury have to vote unanimously. It's guilty beyond reasonable doubt. In a civil case, it's the preponderance of evidence. Is it more likely to be true than not? The burden is not so high. That's why in the O.J. Simpson case, he was found innocent of murder, but he was found guilty in a civil case. That's why. Is it more likely to be true than not? And that's what the jury decides, is the preponderance of evidence. A criminal trial, you have to be found guilty beyond reasonable doubt. You have to, the prosecutors can win a case, a circumstantial case. You don't always have to have a smoking gun, but they can still win the case. But again, the burden is very high on the state. So they want to make sure their T's are crossed and I's are dotted. So this investigation could be long going, ongoing, and going on some more. Okay. But what did the family say? They want a thorough investigation. That thorough investigation could take months. There's no rush here. But one thing I must tell you, the autopsy is back, isn't it? There's no press conferences. It's going straight to the grand jury, which all deaths that are natural, that are not natural, they all go to the grand jury. Natural causes do not. But anything like drownings, different things like that, impromptu events or anomalous events, all of that goes to the grand jury out in Mississippi. That's how they work. So you have to respect the process and let the process take its course. If they do a thorough investigation, they come back and find out this was a freak, this was let me make up a catastrophic anomaly. What if they ruled that like this was just a freak accident, right? After their thorough investigation, that's all the family wants at the end of the day. But after a thorough investigation, if that means somebody's going to get some handcuffs put on them and has to face justice, then we will follow that case. And then I will be the first to tell you, you're innocent until proven guilty. The state burden is high, and then we'll go and analyze the case from there. But right now, we don't know. We weren't there. I was not there. You were not there. The good officer wasn't there. Nobody was there. Just like when he interviewed those people, you can't take their word for it. I'm not saying that they did it, but you can't take their word for it because you were not there on Horn Island on the 4th of July. On the 4th of July, I was home. I was not in Mississippi on Horn Island. Neither was anybody that's listening. Some of you might. Some of you listening, you probably was there. You know, some of you listening could be from Mississippi out there, you know, but for the greater majority of us from other states, no. But anyway, that's what I would like to say. But follow the guy. Oh, as a matter of fact, follow him. His link, his what do you call it? His TikTok. His TikTok page will be in the description, and follow him from there because he's talking. So, and you know he's a local. And one thing I know about those southern states, especially those small cities, everybody know each other, or everybody know of each other, or know somebody that know you, and everybody loves to gossip out there. I'm just telling you, that's how Southerners are, man. Guys, give me a follow, like the video. What else? All that good stuff. You know, I will be going live later tonight to talk about this. Take care.